So I don't have to tell you this, because you already know this, but there's something going on in design, something very powerful. People have realized that design is a legitimate way to change the world, and that design can change the fundamental building blocks of business. From household products to social interactions, people are using design to do some powerful results. And the future of business and design is changing dramatically. The new ways of thinking is revolutionizing the business of design and the design of business at its core. I'd like to talk to you today about design in 3 areas. I'd like to briefly share with you how I use design in business. I'd also like to talk to you about designers are an important group among us in the world today. And lastly, I'd like to invite us to ponder, as designers, as a community, where we are and where we might be heading. And so I really would like to have you think about what resonates for you. You can ask me questions, or if something resonates, you can comment. And we will have 2 people with mics that can come through if you raise your hands, and we will have an interactive conversation. So I started my career in design in architecture. And in 1995, I was fortunate enough to be able to live and work in Hanoi, renovating old French villas, which is an architect's dream come true. During my first few months in Hanoi, one evening, I saw firsthand human trafficking. What happened that night truly moved me, grabbed me, and wouldn't let me go. And so I started to research human trafficking, which I knew nothing about, and also about business models that would help prevent it. And so in 2004, I started a company called Lulan, a for-profit social venture to generate livelihoods for artisans to prevent human trafficking. Design can be a powerful vehicle for social change. When you start a company and you're on a journey, it becomes bigger than what you set out to do. It's bigger than you think, and it's not what you think. So I had no idea that in 2013, I would launch Weave, a design-centric e-commerce website and pop-ups that would connect artisans, designers, and buyers using a novel way to purchase artisanal products through story and transparency. Weave's geographical focus is global, and the artisanal products are diverse, everything from textile products, jewelry, upcycled materials, and home decor. Of course, they have to be really kick-ass designs, right? To really push the envelope, really push design, and have it be more than just arts and crafts. And by telling the artisan's story, we give life to the products we sell. Now, when I started these companies, I thought it was about design and sustainable materials and even job stability. But I didn't know it was going to be about water and land right issues. But it becomes about all of it. It's all interconnected. And what is deeply nourishing is that impact that you can make beyond your company. You can extend your reach even further through others. And so most people believe that they're building a company, and I would argue that you're really building a container of collaboration. It's a place where deep relationships and partnerships can flourish, something that becomes even stronger and has a life of its own. People join, they spark ideas, contribution is palpable, and they remind us that there's energy in everything that we do, the interconnection in our activities beyond the original source of the company itself. It's not about the company. It's not about the products. It's not about services. It's about the collaboration of all that we can do together around these big social issues. This is the redesign of business. And I would even argue this is the future of business. And innovation is seeing problems in a new way and using new models to solve them. And at these extraordinary times, this is what is required of all of us today. Innovation is rising from the context of our time, a cultural consciousness that's inside all of us. Many of us feel the need to act, and the skills of the designer are needed more than ever in this ever-changing world. As a designer, there's never been a more exciting time to be alive in the world. And given that so many of our systems are broken, the skill sets that are needed are that of a designer. We talk about resilient systems and buildings and design, but we are the resilient cadre. We can create a sense of place among the less structured world that we live in today, the fast-paced 24/7 and changing at accelerating rates. We also know how to create space. The best ideas in life come from stepping back, letting go of what you see, taking time and space to see things with fresh eyes. We are taught that in design school with charrettes and the design process. It is amazing how this skill can make all the difference in our work, in our play, in love, in life. And in design school and even today, we draw on yellow vellum. Whoever does draw on yellow vellum, I still do, to create different possibilities for a design problem. We would create one design and then we would let go of it so that we can create another design and then let go again and then create another design and let go and another design. This has been the biggest life lesson. It has impacted every aspect of my life. To keep letting go to create a space for something to come to life that could be richer, better, more effective. And we will need to let go of so much to get where we're going in our lives, in our businesses, and in our humanity. And we will need to be able to let go at faster rates to recreate our systems, our businesses, our culture that aligns with who we are today. This is the redesign of the world. I would even argue it's the redesign of humanity. I would love to have a conversation about this. Any of you who have any comments, anything that resonated, or any questions?
Hello.
Hi, and your name is?
Diane Poindexter. My issue is, how do you actually let go and move forward? I have a memory bank of things that I still hold on to, and how do I completely release and move forward to the next design without being badgered of what I could have done to make the last design better and completely just move forward to something new? Like, what is your tactic, or how do you focus on the next moment without worrying about what you didn't do on the last?
Okay, so I have two things for that. One is very practical. I do improv, and I find that improv makes me a better designer, and it's really fun. So what I would recommend is doing almost like a fast pace, kind of like, I did this design. Okay, let's just like an improv. Like, okay, now in the next moment, what am I doing? Now, next moment, what I'm doing. And if you just kind of create that, you kind of get out of your head, and you get into this like rhythm and more into your body, and almost that automatic place. And you'll just start to do things, and you'll be surprised at what comes up. And you can always go back to one of your other designs. You know, I always throw them on there, and I say, oh, wait, the second or third one was the best one that I really want to go forward with. You know, so you can just keep going forward and then go back and take a look, right? The other thing is, it's the hardest thing in life is to let go. I mean, that's the hardest thing. And with this ever-changing world, what I'm trying to say is, it is the skill that we need to be using almost every day. Almost everyone in here has had a relationship that's ended at some point, right? Heartbreak. Everyone in here? Yes? And letting go of that person and that daily ritual of, oh, wait, no, we got the coffee together. No, we went and we would sit at that restaurant. That was my favorite restaurant. And you go by and you have these memories and you want to hold on so tight. And when I've gotten myself in trouble with my businesses, or I'm not moving quickly enough, or I'm not thinking in a different way that would really grow my company at leaps and bounds, is when I'm holding on so tight. And we all do it. But that's the time where I take a walk or I go outside. And even Einstein did this. A lot of very famous people who created many different things in the world, theory of relativity for Einstein, it all came to him at the very end. He was sitting in his lab just trying to get it, and it wasn't coming together. And he went on vacation. He was on vacation for a couple weeks. He went to the beach. He put his first step on a bus that he was getting on, and the whole thing the end piece came to him, how to put it together. And that happens a lot, is that when we're so much connected to the ego or holding on to that piece, we can't get beyond it. And what's going to take is like really stepping away from it. So what I do all the time, when I was going from Lulon to Weave, I played this game with myself. I let go of Lulon as if it didn't exist anymore in the world. I was grieving the loss of my company, even though it's still around and doing great. But it's just, I did that. I went through the whole process of, okay, pretend like you've let go of it. It's no longer in the world. Be sad, grieve it. And I did that for about a week. And then after I did that, I was like, well, wait a minute. I could see Weave. And I couldn't do that before.
Hello.
Hi. And your name is?
My name is Silk Jackson.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you.
I work with Silk.
Eve Blossom is a good one, too.
Oh, thank you. Great.
So I just wanted to ask, I like what you said about extending your reach through others, and how you started your company, some of the experiences that inspired you to start your company. What was your initial tactic to begin to spread your message or your ideas and passion through others?
How to spread them?
Yeah, like what type of people did you select? What was your tactics towards spreading your message through others?
Well, I cheated and did a published book. It does show my business in here, and it talks about the things that we talk about and what we use and what I think is really important that would really transfer to any of your businesses. And the things that I talk about that apply to the business, I think also apply to our personal lives. We definitely don't have linear paths when it comes to our personal lives. So that's one thing. And then I also would write blogs. I wrote for Huffington Post and things like that. So what does that mean for all of you is it's important that if you've got a company or you've got ideas, and if you think that there's things that you're doing that are cutting edge, which I'm sure most of you are doing because we are all shifting in this crazy, chaotic world, and you are creating things inside your companies or inside your own process as an individual that are unique. Share it. We want to know about it. Blog about it. You know, if you have a website. You can blog about it on certain other people's websites. There's always LinkedIn, and you can do it as an influencer and things like that. Those kinds of things. But I really think putting together the 3 to 5 things that you're doing that really you are passionate about, that you think are different, that you haven't seen other people doing in that process. Because, as you know, life is about the process. Our work is process. But that's why I left architecture. Because what happened to me in architecture was we would work on this process for 2 years to finish a building. And I'd be like, whoa, we finished an airport. Isn't that so cool? And then it was a Friday, and I felt I finished something. And then on Monday, they'd hand me another project for 2 years. I was like, holy shit. You're in the process. And if you're not enjoying the process, don't do it. And I wasn't enjoying the process. So I wanted to take design to do something else, right? I'm in San Francisco. There's all these meetup groups. There's meetup groups everywhere. Create a meetup group. Is it around design? Is it around social entrepreneurship? Is it around charrettes or brainstorming or improv, using improv for good ideas? I mean, think outside the box of what you're doing and create a group that you can share with, and you'll see other people that come and share, and they'll write about it too. I want to hear a story of someone in here that had a hard time of letting go of something, and they let go of it, and they got somewhere where they didn't even believe they could ever get to.
In 2008, I was a creative director at a major ad agency. And we lost a couple of clients, like a few other ad agencies did that year. And I had no idea what to do, but I had a whole lot of trouble putting together my book that year. I just didn't care anymore. I just didn't want to freshen my reel or put together my book. I'd done it thousands of times, and somehow I just couldn't make it happen. I had been doing pro bono work for 7 years for the Episcopal Church. And I got a phone call, and I now am Director of Communication for the Episcopal Church worldwide. I took that job, which led to my involvement in stopping human trafficking, helping racial reconciliation happen in places like Ferguson and Staten Island, a whole host of things that I never would have gotten anywhere near if I had remained on Madison Avenue or any of these. I mean, I could have, but it fell right in my lap, and all of a sudden it was my responsibility, which was awesome.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I think the hardest thing for me that was letting go was there was a downturn in the economy in 2008. I had just raised $1 million for Lulon, and I couldn't spend it. Why would you spend money when nobody's buying and nobody wants to buy any products? And the whole world had stopped, right? So it was the most bizarre thing to have $1 million in the bank. And I've never had raised money for my company at that point. I had never had money. I was always like, oh yeah, can we do $2,000 over here and $1,000? I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? Like you're always like, wait, do I have enough to do this and that? And to have $1 million sitting in the bank and saying the right thing to do is to barely touch it was very strange. And then 3 months later, my husband and I separated. And then 3 months later, I had this really weird run-in with human trafficking that really affected me, that gave me post-traumatic stress disorder. And then 3 months later after that, I moved from Charleston back to San Francisco. I mean, talk about all kinds of like crazy change, right? On every level of my life. They always say, do not change jobs, do not break up, do not change cities all at the same time. I've seemed to have done that 3 or 4 times in my life. But maybe that's what makes me more resilient, I don't know. The hardest thing for me was to let go of saying, well, wait, I was married. Well, wait, I lived in Charleston, South Carolina for 9 years. No, wait, I'm a Charlestonian, not a San Franciscan. Now I'm going back to San Francisco. All those pieces are so hard to let go. And I think the thing is that every single time that I would let go of each piece, it took a lot of time, is like, how did I reach this place where I'm doing a business that is scaling big, I'm in a new relationship, I love my city, I'm on advisory boards helping other companies, and I'm even thinking of helping on the investment side now. Because there's a disconnect happening right now in funding for all these great ideas that we all have. So right now, everything's being chaos and, there's all this disruption happening, and everybody sitting in here has good ideas. And either you are implementing them, you're executing them, you're thinking about executing on them, right? But the money is lagging behind. And I'm sitting in Silicon Valley, and yes, we have big famous VCs that are giving companies, and you're hearing about the Ubers and the, Airbnb. You know what percentage that is of all the ideas and of all the money that could be possible to do companies like we're talking about, where they have really impact on social issues, right? So I think that that's lagging, and that's going to hurt all of us and really keep creating and recreating these companies that we need to keep doing. Is there anyone in here that's a social entrepreneur?
So my name is Priya Shah. I run a nonprofit called The Simple Good, who provide arts programming in underserved communities around the world. So our mission is to connect the meaning of good from around the world to empower at-risk youth to become positive activists through art and discussion. What's innovative about our program is that we incorporate a crowdsourced curriculum that our students, enabling our students to learn about different perspectives of good from around the world. So what has happened, it actually started off with a blog that went viral. People started off with my pictures, and then we invited other people to submit pictures on their meaning of the simple good, and started getting submissions from around the world. Now we're using this blog as actually a part of classroom curriculum where students from our south and west sides of Chicago are learning about perspectives of small notions of good in China, Brazil, Tanzania, and also incorporate art exchanges on this topic of the simple meaning of good, in order to not only bring the dialogue of positive mindfulness into complex communities, but also break down barriers by connecting the small notion of a good in our lives. So our mission that we transcend through our programming is that no matter where you go in the world, good means the same to all of us, and that's what connects us as human beings.
Awesome. And the two things that I really enjoyed is she said that she did a blog that went viral, right? And that she was using a different model, crowdsourcing, to actually reach and really create a really rich way of teaching. I mean, that's incredible. This one other social entrepreneur really quickly, and your name is?
Hi, I'm Kevin Dick. I'm with Delta Institute, and I'm starting a social venture called Delta Lumen. We're about a year into the project, and we're going to be helping low-income consumers around the country have a better handle on their energy use and take advantage of existing programs that they're not currently taking advantage of. So lots of potential for improving the environment, improving the bottom line of people who really don't have the ability to take advantage of things that are available to the rest of us. I was kind of thinking about, what I had to let go to get there. Everybody who has an ambition tries to follow a career path, I think, that seems like the right way to go, and I'm sure every one of us has been in a place where oftentimes you feel like you're doing what other people would like you to be doing, but not what you're truly passionate about. It's really been a nice journey because you just feel good in your own skin when you're doing what you want to do.
Wonderful. That's great. I just want to say in closing that we say all the time how passionate entrepreneurs and designers are with their ideas. And we are comfortable speaking about passionate design and in business. But we also have to be comfortable speaking about love and compassion in our businesses to create the world that we want to for our humanity. So thank you so much.